So in my last video, we talked about all the bad things when it comes to Pokemon investing that a lot of the YouTubers don't like to talk about. Well, in today's video, we are going to go through the top 5 mistakes that I see a lot of new investors make. So, number 1 on the list. People do not think about taxes or anything like that. You guys have to keep your receipts. Because if you think about it, let's say you get $10,000 worth of Pokemon products, right? That you cannot prove that you paid for any of it. You go to sell that, you have to pay taxes on that. And you're gonna have to pay taxes on the whole 10 grand. But if you have your receipts and it proves that you spent 4 grand, you only really have to pay taxes on the 6 grand profit. You see what I'm saying? So always keep your receipts. You should be keeping track of everything you paid for. Like if you got something on sale, you got to remember what you paid for that. So when you go to sell it, you know the actual profit. But I see a lot of people throw the receipts away and not keep them. But I got a big stack of receipts with all my stuff, or I try to keep it in the same box or tote, whatever it is. So always keep your receipts. Don't forget that. Number 2. Now I see a lot of people, this is probably the most common one, is buying too much of one product or not buying enough of that one product. If you're just buying one box, it's a good way to start. But realistically, you're not really going to make too much on that box. And the big problem is when you're a collector or investor, well, when you are an investor, you kind of start to become a collector, and it's hard to sell those boxes sometimes. You grow attached to them. That's why I always recommend at least getting 3 products of each box. If you think it's a good box, if you think it's going to go up, buy 3. So you can always keep 1, sell 1, open 1, whatever. You got options. Another big problem that I see is a lot of people, they'll buy like 40 of one box or 30 of one box. And then I notice that they don't buy the next good box or the box after that. Or they'll only buy 1 or 2 of them because they spent so much on that one box. If you're going to do that, this better be the box of all boxes. Because I am telling you, the space that it takes is crazy. You may have a spare room now, but you might not later. But I see a lot of people doing that, or like I said, just buying the one. That's probably the more common one, is buying just one. You gotta at least try to buy 2 or 3. It's gonna pay off. You'll be way happier at the end. I promise you that. Because there's a lot of boxes I have that I just don't want to sell now. They've gone up. I have 1 Unified Minds box. I was gonna buy 2. If I had 2, I would possibly sell one right now and invest it somewhere else that I think will go up. But now that I have 1, I'll never sell it. It's tough. Because it's my only one. So that was a huge one. So I always try to stick to buying at least 3. All right. Number 3 on the list, you guys have to be realistic. This kind of goes with number 2. But you got to be realistic on how much money you really can make. Now, Pokemon has history. We had the boom. So that'll probably be the most expensive Pokemon cards will ever be worth in a long time. We'll see in the future, but that was crazy. So we kind of know the tops of a lot of these boxes and cards. So you got to remember that there is a cap. There's a limit. So don't expect to be making $250 a box because you have to seller fees, shipping. You got to actually spend the time to list it. You got to pay taxes on it. You're not going to make as much as you think. That's why we got to be really smart with what we buy. Because it's not like it was in the boom where you can just buy a box and instantly double your money. It's going to take a long time. Like a lot of these investors, they'll talk 2-3 years. No, I'm talking 5 to 10 years. And then if something crazy spikes, that's when you can talk about maybe selling something early. So that actually goes right into our number 4, not being patient enough. This is probably one of the most important ones. I have done it myself. I have gotten bored. I have a lot of other collectibles. I've sold collectibles, traded collectibles, just because I got a little bored of it. Which is fine, totally okay. But I didn't make the smartest trades like long-term investment wise, where now I really pay attention to that. So you really, really have to be patient. Like I was saying, a lot of these boxes are not going to go, especially Scarlet and Violet era. It's going to take a long time for these boxes to really shoot up, because I feel like so much more people are a lot smarter now when it comes to buying boxes and Pokemon investing. So a lot of people are going to be sitting on these. That's why for Scarlet and Violet, I'm kind of trying to stick to Paldea Evolved and 151 and not just buy everything. But like I said, if you're getting it for that base price, you have the space and you have the capital and you have the time, totally fine to buy. It will go up. But yeah, you have to be patient on these boxes. Don't sell too early. I see a lot of these little Pokemon investors, they'll have a collection, then they'll sell it, make, $200, not that much money. And there isn't that many good boxes right now to be just dumping all your stuff to invest in one box. So you have to be patient, and it's the long game. 5, 10, 15, 20 years. You got to think, these boxes will be worth something in 20 years. Unless something crazy happens, you never know. It's one thing you always have to think about too. All right, number 5. Now this is where I'm really good at. You got to do your research and you got to find that bottom price. Don't just go to TCG Player, see what the price is at, and that's the guaranteed price. If you're serious about buying, you have to do research. I constantly see cases of booster boxes sell for $50, $80, $100 more than what I can find them for. So you always have to do research. You should try to find a couple good sellers and, save their stores. You want to establish friendships, connections. It really, really pays off. There's a few other places that I like to get stuff from that they kind of, it's just easier because that's where I get it from. They know I'm going to get it. So always do your research. I see it constantly because I'm always on eBay sold prices. You should see what people pay on like a random eBay auction when you can buy the card right now. Like, I'll take an example. Scalarian Rapidash, let's say I can't remember the price. Let's say it's $4.99, buy it now. I swear, all the time I will see this sold for $5, $6, $7, $8, $9 on an auction. And I'll go in and check and see if it's perfectly centered. Maybe they wanted it for grading, and it's not. People don't do research. It's crazy. So always do research. You can check TCG Player, but then the best way you're really going to check it is you go to eBay and you go to advanced options and you can go to sold listings. The numbers will be green. That's how you'll know. And you can go lowest, recently sold. And that you can actually see what people are paying for. Because you can find way better deals on eBay than you can on TCG Player. So always do the research. And you could really check out, there's a lot of good online card shops like Danny Phantom, Card Coliseum, I believe his is. He's got really good deals on sealed a lot of times. So maybe check that out. But otherwise, yeah, it's not too hard. Just takes 5 to 10, 15 minutes maybe just searching. Got to find those sold listings. Kind of get a base price. And they should always see if it's been going down or up. You always want to check that too, because you don't want to buy when it's on the up. You want to buy when it's leveled out or on the, on the dip. So that way you can have it when it's on the up. So yeah, these are the top 5 most common mistakes that I see new investors make. And I think if you just get rid of all of these, you will be set. You'll be making smart investments, and you'll be so proud of that little closet or tote or whatever you got, shelf, all that stuff. It really, really makes a difference. So if you guys have any questions or comments, please let me know down below. I'd love to help. And if you guys do want to buy some singles, you can check out my eBay store. We got 100% positive feedback with over 20,000 cards sold. But otherwise, have a great day. See you later.